Okay, so we're going to start off by watching this Asmongold.
I just got banned from Israel upon arrival and deported.
Okay, so this is Asmongold in the bottom left. If you don't know who Asmongold is, you might be living under a rock or purposely you don't go online. Many of my audiences may not know who he is or the main guy on the screen. I know who both of them are. Before I begin, when you're going to critique somebody, you should always say nice things. So I don't have anything nice to say to the main guy. I've seen too much of his stuff. I will defend something that he brings up in a minute, because he does good old bait and switch. One of the easiest ways to play victim is when you do something, to admit to doing something else that you're not in trouble for, and then having the audience focus on this, but not this. You see this in cop cam dash videos and arrest videos. Somebody's like, oh, well, I'm getting arrested and yanked out of my car because of whatever, but it's not that at all. It's not that at all. And they get on their phone and they act like a child, they act like an animal, they're sporadic, and they try to tell other people why they are being punished, and they want you over here. They want you in this box, not in this box. When, if you watch the full thing, the officer that's arresting them, pulling them over, detaining them, is pulling them over for something over here, and they never mention it. They're over here, and they're focusing on this. It happens all the time. So that is a classic narcissistic move. I don't have anything nice to say about this guy in the blue shirt. I've seen too much of his stuff. He is complaining that the internet is pointing out that he's anti-Semitic. So the question then becomes, is he? And I like Asmongold. I will say a lot of good things about Asmongold. I'm a fan of him. I'm subscribed to most of his channels. I watch him constantly. I watch his shorts. I enjoy Asmongold's political views. I enjoy his I'm going to call it his research and studying on topics when he doesn't know anything about them. He is one of the most honest people when it comes to learning about something that he didn't know about. And I'm trying to say positive things about this before I go into the critiques, because my audience, the people that are normally my audience, which would be Benoic or Jews, they will understand where I'm coming from, but the audiences of Asmongold or this guy in the blue shirt will not get any of this. So I have to dumb down things. When someone is accused of being anti-Semitic, the next words out of anybody's mouth should not be, no, he's not, no, he's not, no, he's not, or no, I'm not, no, I'm not. It should be, why are you being accused? Now, with saying that, there are a lot of people who do get thrown under the bus, and they're not anti-Semitic, and they're just asking questions. I'm not talking about Candace Owens. She's anti-Semitic. I'm not talking about Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson is weird. He has some kind of agenda going on where he doesn't know what he's doing. Tucker Carlson is very anti-Semitic, yet he's working for Muslims. He's done all kinds of praises for Muslims recently, and now he's also trying to confuse Christians on multiple things. He literally did a video the other day about how Christians need to be aware that there's spells being cast by the Trump administration on Trump, so that when you're in the room with them, you're spellbound, you're mesmerized. Like, go watch his video. He's crazy. He's got a large amount of Christians who are, there's no other way to say it, they're crazy. They're just crazy. They're not normal Christians, they're crazy. He's went on rhetoric about how aliens and UFOs are demons 100%, and he's went on all kinds of rants. So when I'm saying that people are thrown under the bus, I'm not talking about Tucker Carlson or Candace Owens. Now, I'm going to say something that might be shocking. Asmongold has said a lot of stupid stuff when it comes to Judaism and Jews, but I do not think Asmongold is anti-Semitic. And here's why. I just believe that he doesn't know anything. He's brain dead when it comes to that. Asmongold, although I love him and I'm a fan of him, he has listened to other people tell him that the word goy or goyim, it supposedly means slaves or cattle. That's what he thinks. You can see him repeating the word goy or goyim on videos that have nothing to do with Jews or Judaism. And he makes fun of goy, and he says, yeah, we're all dumb goyim, we're all dumb goy. That is a blood libel. And that causes problems because the person that doesn't know a single Jew in their life that watches his videos, they're going to assume that goyim means that, but it doesn't. Nowhere does it mean that. Nowhere. In fact, Israel is called HaKadosh Goyim. So if you say that goyim means slaves or cattle, then you have to sit there and say that Israel's called cattle or slave. Now, obviously, goyim doesn't mean that. It just literally means nations. And depending on how the sentence is, it rolls and changes. People don't understand that Hebrew, when you speak it, depending on how the sentence rolls out, it changes everything. You like literally you can call, like you can say like King David was a ger in Egypt. But King David is not a ger. He's a Jew. He's not a ger. But in the sentence of saying King David traveled to Egypt, King David is a ger in Egypt. So the reference is that King David travels to Egypt and the land is Egypt, and it's referencing Egypt, not Israel. And you can say King David is a ger in Egypt. Ger means stranger. But in normal talk, there's 5 different kind of ger, okay? And in normal talk, in most halakha, ger does not mean stranger. What it means in most of the sentences, when you're not implying a place and solidifying an environment, ger can literally mean, it can mean stranger. It can mean the convert, the person converting. It can mean several versions of someone who is a ben noach, a goy, and yet they're a ger. So a lot of Jews don't know this stuff. A lot of Jews just assume that there's only one definition for ger. Unfortunately, even religious Jews. In halakhic terms, ger is used in 5 different settings in halakha, in the Talmud, in other areas, and there's 5 different types. But when you're talking about the ger, you'd be like, oh, okay, well, we're talking about a non-Jew. But in the sentence of saying that King David went to Egypt in English, and then you can say King David is a ger in Egypt, you'd be like, well, wait a minute, King David, he's Mashiach, he is the king, he is a Jew. He's, like some would say, he's the prime Jew. So why are you calling him ger? Well, it's in the sentence, in the reference. So there's no sentence anywhere where goyim or goy means cattle or slavery. Never. Never, 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 never. There's no such thing. So Asmongold has said some stupid stuff. He has said some real stupid stuff, and he has supported and pushed blood libels without knowing it. And I really believe that he's not anti-Semitic. I believe that he's just uninformed. I'm not saying he's stupid. You have to dive into Judaism to learn about this other culture. It's hidden from the world. There are so many things. When I was studying Judaism and I was going really deep into things, I can't tell you how many times I searched on Google for a Hebrew term, and there was no pages, not even one website, not one reference, even the Jewish pages. I can't tell you. Like, everybody thinks that you can search for anything on the internet. I promise you can't. I promise not everything, not all human knowledge is on the internet. And if you ask AI a lot of times is going to give you misinformation. And that's been proven. There's been all kinds of studies with AI. So people using Chat GPT and AI and stuff, just stop. So Judaism is very much hidden from the world. And the Jews want it that way because it's part of how you are being holy. You see, when you ask a non-Jew what is holy and what is righteous, they cannot tell you. There is a distinct difference between somebody or something that is righteous and something or somebody who is holy. There's a big difference. So in Hebrew, when we're talking about holiness, okay, kadosh, we're talking about being separated from the rest of the world. Why? Because the rest of the world is insane. There's no other way to say it. So I'm going to go ahead and get on to this video. I haven't posted a video in a long while. I want to post this video. I want to show you this, and I'm going to point out how this guy in the blue shirt, is extremely lying to the audience, and he is anti-Semitic. Okay, so let's watch this. Asmongold is going to agree with this guy because Asmongold does not know anything. This guy in the blue, however, knows a lot, and he posts things to make Jews look bad. He also posts a lot of goy, and he finds non-religious liberal Jews, and he posts them and tries to claim that they are religious Jews all the time. He's got so many videos, it's not even funny. He's very meticulous about only showing the audience certain information, and he wants the audience to come to a conclusion, and he's manipulating everything. So let's watch it, and I'm going to point out how he's manipulating. So he manipulates in this video. It's only 3 minutes long. Let's watch it.
Back to America for anti-Semitic or anti-Israel content.
I don't think that he's done a single thing that's anti-Semitic or anti-Israel.
Okay, and the reason why Asmongold says that is Asmongold is not involved in Judaism. He doesn't know any legit religious Jews. He doesn't know anything about Judaism. So when you don't know anything about it, how can you point it out? If you don't know what a spegula is, and I tell you to go to the store and go find a spegula, how are you going to know what it is when you don't know what the word is? I made that word up, by the way.
He hasn't done a single thing or said anything that I've ever noticed.
Okay, this is why I'm saying Asmongold I don't think is anti-Semitic. If a religious Jew and a rabbi really sat down with Asmongold and said, I'll take your questions, and Asmongold, was like, all right, I got free roam of all the questions, and that rabbi was explaining, I think that in just maybe an hour's time, Asmongold would ask hundreds of questions, and I think that Asmongold would walk away from that conversation being like, oh, I never thought of that. I didn't know that. Okay? But I'm going to show you in this video where he's anti-Semitic. Not Asmongold, this other guy.
New Jersey on an El Al flight to Tel Aviv.
For those who don't know, this guy was banned in Israel. He was kicked out and deported from Israel, and he's complaining about it. Gee, I wonder why. So when someone is accused of being anti-Semitic, your next question should be, why? What did you do? Now, there's some people that are thrown under the bus, and they're not anti-Semitic. Usually this happens when you're dealing with a Democrat who is also claiming to be Jewish, and I'm saying claiming because we have a lot of goy who claim to be Jews. We have a lot of them. You see them in the pro-Palestinian rallies. You see that, like, they will literally go get dressed up as a Jew, religious Jew, for the first time in their life to go protest against Israel, and they want to appear Jewish for the audience. And then you follow them home, and lo and behold, they're celebrating Christmas, they're eating pork, they have nothing to do with any rabbi ever a day in their life, they have no religious Jewish friends, they don't even know what a minyan is. If you ask them what a minyan is, they don't know. And when you look into who their mother was and who their grandmother was, they're 100% goy. It happens all the time. But let me keep going. I don't want to talk you to death on this.
Aviv on a plane with basically all Jews and had plenty of pleasant conversations and positive interactions on my way there. Believe it or not, a lot of Jews were excited for me to visit their country.
Yeah, of course.
Because they were probably hoping, hey, this is an investigator, he's going to tell the truth. What does he not do? He doesn't tell the truth. Ever in any of his videos. I'm sorry, he doesn't. I've seen about 20 of this guy's videos, and every time when he's dealing with Gaza and Israel or anything with the Jews, he's lying, he's deliberately causing problems, and I am not talking about his entire video of the Hasidic Jews who were doing fraud. Okay? Exclude that. He was right on that. Any Jew that is breaking any Torah law, okay, and you catch them doing it, you have every right to complain and do a video on it and investigate them and call them, call them a bad person. You have every right to do that. So I'm not talking about his Hasidic Jew video, and that's what he's going to do. In this video, he's going to say, oh, it's the Hasidic Jew video, it's the Hasidic Jew video. Meanwhile, he's not showing everybody else all this other stuff that's went on over here.
Leave, baby. Are they going to let me in?
Yes, sir. Oh, guess not.
Of course, I was being tracked.
He said, are they going to let me in, talking about Israel? Because he already knows in his heart that he has set up many, many videos that are very anti-Semitic. They're giving false information, misinformation. He's the kind of guy that'll sit there and be like, well, I'm just showing you. I'm just investigating. I'm recording. And he never gives his own opinion about the thing because he misdirects and gives misinformation. He wants the audience to assume. He wants the audience to come to a conclusion. Watch some of his videos. They're extremely anti-Semitic. I'm not talking about his Hasidic Jew one, though.
The entire time, and photos of me circulated in Jewish WhatsApp groups as I was asleep in the middle seat of the back of the plane. 12 hours in the middle seat later, I land in Israel and my passport scan says to go find an agent. I'm then brought to the back office where my interrogation begins. I tell him I'm here to enjoy the beaches of Tel Aviv, see some holy sites, and maybe do some street interviews asking some of the world's oldest questions, right? He then asks if I'm here to provoke Jews, if I'm hiding anything, if I'm anti-Semitic. I tell him no, obviously. The agent then goes...
Obviously. An anti-Semitic person, obviously, is going to be anti-Semitic if they put out misinformation on multiple videos. 1 or 2 videos, hey, I'll give you credit, and I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. Okay, so you messed up on 2 videos, but 3, 4, 5 videos, come on, bro, you know what you're doing.
Like, you can just be honest. This is Israel. As if I said, yeah, I'm anti-Semitic, that would somehow go over well upon arriving.
Okay, I want you to keep in mind the Dunning-Kruger effect does not work on people with an IQ 115 or higher. The Dunning-Kruger effect is when false information and false evidence comes before you and you're left only with gossip and hearsay, and you are told to come to a conclusion. We don't know what was said between him and the person interviewing him at all. None of it is recorded. So you have to take his word on it. I have seen this man's videos. I have the opinion I'm not going to take this man's word on it. I have seen this man's videos, and I've seen where he gives misinformation. He does smoke and mirrors. Hey, look over here at this box. This is why I'm in trouble over here, when he's done this and this and this and this and this, and he doesn't want to talk about it. It's just like all these cop videos that you see where somebody's being arrested. I saw one the other day where somebody was going 45 in a 20 mile an hour school zone, and they were like, oh, you got me because I was doing something else, when they weren't. And it was all about them speeding in the school zone. And they called their mom and they called their family, screaming and yelling, oh, this cop's arrested me because of this over here. When they were told like 20 times that they are being detained and ticketed for speeding in a school zone. Like, go watch these videos. That's what they do. It's the Dunning-Kruger effect. It's when you are lied to and you are told a story and there's no evidence, and it's trust me, bro. That's what Dunning-Kruger effect is. This guy is trust me, bro, trust me, bro. If you want to know somebody, you go see their work. You see their actions, reactions, and their character. You want to know this guy? Go watch all his videos. Now, I'm not talking about the one where he exposes Hasidic Jews doing fraud. He has every right to do that. Those people were disgusting. I wouldn't even call those people Jews. I'm just telling, I wouldn't call them Jews. But this guy is smoke and mirrors.
To Israel. I tell him, no, I'm not. I don't hate anyone. And I don't. He proceeds to watch my videos about the Hasidic Jewish communities in upstate New York and New Jersey, where I examine.
Now, we don't know if the guy investigating him saw those videos. And I can tell you right now, there's something fishy going on. You know who doesn't like the Hasidic Jews that are on welfare all day? Israel. Israel has had a major problem with some of the Hasidic Jews, a certain group within them, okay? A certain group. I'm not saying all Hasidic Jews. That's not what I'm saying, okay? So quote me correctly. There are a group, and they're like a cult, And I've seen the videos. I've seen them where they spit on the little girls as they're coming into school and they're screaming at them, cussing at them. That's not how a Jew acts. And yet you have this cult of this small group of Hasidic Jews that do this stuff. They push and they hit people, spit on them. 90% of the time when you look at, you put in the word Israel, Jew spits on Christian. 90% of the time, the people causing the problem are, I would never call them Jewish. They couldn't attend a minyan. Like, you got to be a certain kind of person to attend a minyan. You can't be out there breaking every law of Torah. You can't go out and spit on somebody. You can't harass somebody. Whatever land you are in, when you're Jewish, you must obey the rules. America and Israel have laws against battery. If you spit on somebody, that's battery. A Jew cannot go up and spit on someone. I have no problem if he wants to go run around and videotape all these cult Hasidic Jews doing this awful stuff. There's a lot of them. I had no problem with that, and you shouldn't either. But for him to say that an investigator trying to possibly bar him from Israel watches a video about a group of people that are a major problem in Israel, and then he says, "Oh, well, you're talking bad about those people." I don't buy that, man. That's weird. That's weird. That's like, let me give you a reference. That would be like Nick Shirley becoming a politician, and he's a Republican, and then he gets mad at somebody and he says, "Wait a minute, I seen that you posted videos about Somalians doing theft and doing fraud. You must hate Somalians. You shouldn't be allowed around Somalians." And then Nick gets mad at them, or, you know, like, it would make no sense. It would make no sense.
And how they use welfare to afford 7 to 10 kids.
Okay, okay, a Jew has an obligation to work 6 days and rest on the 7th. For those that don't know, the Jewish calendar is a lunar calendar. It's not a solar calendar. The day starts in the evening. It starts when the sun sets. When the sun is set, it is now a new day. So Friday, when the sun sets, that is Shabbat, till Saturday, if you're using the Roman calendar, when the sun sets. That's Shabbat, from Friday sunset to Saturday sunset. Any Jew will tell you that. They've been doing Shabbat non-stop for the last 4,000, 5,000 years. Like, it's never stopped. And then you got Goy out there that are like, "Oh no, Shabbat is really Thursday. No, Shabbat is only Sunday. Shabbat is Saturday." If you want to learn how to build an igloo and learn how to do ice fishing, you don't go to the tropics and talk to a native tribe that has never even seen snow. You go to the Eskimos.
It's got nothing to do with them being Jews. It's got nothing. It's the welfare is the fucking problem, and not the.
Okay, do you see how hyped up Asmongold has gotten when this man claimed that an investigator in Israel had a problem with the worst people in Israel, and this man did a video about those people? Asmongold took the bait. Dunning-Kruger. Trust me, bro. Trust me, bro. I have a hard time believing his story. I have a hard time. The majority of the security forces in Israel and the politicians in Israel cannot stand this certain cult of Hasidic Jews. It's a certain cult that are always on welfare, that are draining Israel, and that are running around causing crime and problems constantly. So why would anybody in Israel have a problem with this man doing a video about that group? It's smoke and mirrors. It's smoke and mirrors.
It doesn't matter if you're Somalian and doing it, it's bad. If you're Jewish and doing it, it's bad.
Yeah, I agree with Asmongold, and I literally said that if you find a Jew that's breaking the Torah law, call him out. Call him out, but you got to know what the Torah law is. A Jew cannot do anything that would be considered stealing. Just so you understand, the halakha on this says that when you're working for someone and you're being paid for the hours, you can't even play on your phone. It's stealing. You're being paid by your employer to do a job, and instead you're on your phone playing some stupid game on your phone for like 20 minutes, and then later on doing it another 20 minutes. That would be stealing. See, you all don't understand what stealing is, but Jews know. You're not allowed to sell something and lie to the person about how many people owned it. So you have you have a car and you're going to sell it. And they ask, well, has it ever been in a wreck? Has it been salvaged? Does it have a salvage title? Has it ever had water or flood damage? If you're a Jew, you cannot lie. You got to tell them everything and give them the report. It's halakha. So when somebody, and I don't care who they are, I don't care how anti-Semitic the person is or how loving towards Israel the person is, if they are going to complain about a Jew breaking the law, they have every right to do it as long as you have evidence and as long as you can prove what you say. I don't have any problem with his Hasidic Jewish video. All right? You can find problems all day long with them. You can find spouse abuse with them. They're not allowed to do that. A Jew's not allowed to do that. You can find them completely breaking all Torah by putting the woman as almost a slave. They're almost like Islamists. So in Judaism, the woman is the head of the household, if most of you all didn't know that.
Black, you're doing it bad. Like, this is the problem, is that this insane fucking tribalism with fucking everything.
So do you see how the Dunning-Kruger effect has affected Asmongold? Instead of Asmongold saying, prove that the investigator had a problem with that particular video, Asmongold's going off. He's emotionally snapped into it. Now, Asmongold, I do believe, has a high IQ, but there's been studies to show that the Dunning-Kruger effect does not work on anybody at 115 IQ or higher, because the first thing that they do is they question. I have a hard time believing that someone involved in keeping bad people out of Israel has a problem with a particular guy showing a video of some of the worst people in Israel. Make it make sense.
It has nothing to do. If there is a ethnic group...
He's still going on. He got caught. See, the Dunning-Kruger effect is, trust me, bro. That's what it is. Look it up. Dunning-Kruger effect.
Group of people that are doing something wrong, then calling that out isn't racist. It's insane.
Okay. I agree with Asmongold, but Asmongold is getting wrapped up in the smoke and the mirrors. The question should be, is he anti-Semitic? Can you prove he's anti-Semitic? Can you show evidence where he has given misinformation or blood libels and so on and so forth? The answer is yes.
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it.
Oh,
just by thinking about
it. I got a ad.
Base 44.
Explain the nature of the videos, and he eventually tells me to go sit down while they deliberate my fate. About 30 minutes later, he tells me to come back in the room and states that he's spoken to his higher-ups and that...
Okay, I have a problem with this because they're showing a picture of a Chabad Rebbe, and he's saying that this guy has to speak to his higher-ups. There is no religious Jews that are in charge of Israel. There's not a politician. You can find some of the policemen and IDF that are religious Jews. Why is he doing that? This is Dunning-Kruger effect right here. This is misleading and misinforming you. He is trying to tell you that the guy that kicked him out of Israel had to talk to his higher-ups. And who is his higher-ups? Some religious Jew. A Rebbe from Chabad. That's incorrect. Most likely, it was a liberal goy. Israel is 100% ran by liberals today. Can you even point to me one politician, one, that is a religious Jew in Israel? Go ahead. Put it in the comments.
I've been denied entry into Israel due to anti-Semitic or anti-Israel content. I'm then handed a paper that I have to sign, which falsely claims...
Oh my God. What the fuck?
Again, do you see how wrapped up Asmongold is in this? This man came with cameras and everything. He gets pulled off and he gets questioned. Do you really think that he wouldn't have tried to record the entire interview? I have a problem with this whole story. I believe that he was kicked out of Israel. I believe that they had a problem with him coming in Israel. But it's how he's setting it up. He wants the audience to see him as a victim, and he wants the audience to come to their conclusions. The problem is, he's already showed us a religious Jew and claimed that that was the higher up. No. He was probably talking to a liberal goy.
This is so stupid.
that have attempted to illegally immigrate to Israel, which is
What the
obviously
fuck?
bullshit, and I assume was done to prevent me from re-entering Israel for as long as legally possible.
Okay, but he's not immigrating into Israel. He was visiting.
Despite him telling me the real reason was due to anti-Semitic content. In fact, I checked Twitter and see that Israel's Minister of Diaspora and Combating Anti-Semitism is retweeting an Israeli news article that claims Tyler Oliveira, the Jew-hating YouTuber, is expelled from Israel.
And who is this man? Is this man a religious Jew? The answer is no. Go find out who this man is. Go find out who this man is. You see, this is the problem. He's lumping all Jews into a box when he's having a problem with Democrats, liberals, liberal goyim, and non-religious Jews. Those are the people that he's having a problem with. I have never seen him have a problem with a religious Jew because they don't want to deal with the drama. They're not going to argue with him. They're going to treat him nice even though he hates all Jews. Find out who this guy is. Why don't you do that? I mean, hello.
Israeli border.
You remember a minute ago when I said that his higher up was probably a liberal goy or a liberal non-religious Jew? Here you go.
On the
Oh, man. That sucks.
And Asmongold falls for it. Asmongold falls for it. I like Asmongold, but I don't know what's going on with him. He doesn't act. So here's the problem that I have with Asmongold. I've seen Asmongold not know anything about a subject, and then he dives into it and he changes his mind. I've seen him change his mind. I've seen him dig into whatever he's digging into on every topic except for Judaism. I don't know why. It's weird. He dug into, he will dig into any topic. He will come up with an opinion. He'll often say, I can't give my opinion because you all get mad at me. And I'm like, okay. But when it comes to Judaism and Jews and what is and is not Jewish, what is and is not Judaism, he never digs. He never learns. But that's not his pattern for everything else. That's not his pattern for everything else. It's really weird. I watched a whole video one time where he heard a rumor that Somalia has literally no buildings, and he investigates. He pulls up Somalian maps, and he finds out that there's almost nobody living in Somalia, that they have this new Somalia, which isn't Somalia, that everything in Somalia looks like it looks like a war zone. There's nothing there. There's literally nothing there, and that it's been in a civil war for like 30 years or something. And he's like, oh my gosh, and he's coming up with opinions and he's seeing evidence. He doesn't do that for Judaism. It's really weird. It's really weird. I like Asmongold. Don't get me wrong. I like him, but he investigates everything and digs into everything except for Judaism. It's really weird. See, his pattern of investigation is the same on everything except for when it comes to Jews and Judaism.
orders of the Israeli minister.
Jesus.
The fuck? He then quotes,
the fuck? Yeah.
I'm proud to have denied entry to Israel today to an unfortunate YouTuber who is using the harassment of Jews as a way to get clout on social media.
Oh my
Furthermore,
God.
let this be a lesson to all Jew haters and supporters of BDS.
What the fuck is BDS? And this is not helping Israel support. Yeah, what the fuck does this have to do with Israel? If there's a bunch of Jews in America that are scamming welfare, what the fuck does this have to do with Israel? I don't even understand. Where's the reasoning?
Do you see how this guy lied and said, hey, I was getting yelled at for my Hasidic videos, and Asmongold took the bait? Do you see how Asmongold took the bait? The Dunning-Kruger effect. I would lay down my life savings right now. I got a lot of money sitting back. I would lay down my life savings and bet that if we somehow had a camera during the interview and they released it, that it's very possible that that Hasidic video was not the main issue, that they looked at a lot of his stuff. I mean, I would lay money on it. See, you all don't understand that you all who are watching don't understand who is a Jew, who is not a Jew. You all don't understand who rules Israel. I want to keep going because this guy says a bunch of anti-Semitic lies here in a minute. Besides showing the Chabad Rebbe as the higher up. They, if Chabad owned and governed Israel, you'd probably see almost all the problems disappear overnight, and Mashiach would come probably the next day.
Here, it doesn't even make sense. To be honest, it's their country. I wish we did the same for any foreigner for a while. Yeah, you're kind of right about that. But at the same time, it doesn't have anything to do with them. It doesn't even make sense.
BDS. Whatever that means. Now, for a second, imagine if me criticizing welfare use in black communities in America somehow got me banned from countries in Africa. Or the welfare users in Appalachia somehow got me...
Okay, again, he's going on and on and on and on about this one video. He did 2 videos with the Hasidic Jews. I don't have a problem with him bashing them at all, because he clearly shows them doing bad things. So when you show somebody doing bad things, they're a bad person. End of sentence. The problem is, he keeps telling you that's why he got kicked out. I don't believe it at all.
Banned from Europe.
Yeah.
This exception only seems to exist when it's regarding Jews. So I tell the agent, man, it's a shame I can't visit the biggest democracy in the Middle East. And he goes, well, maybe you can visit Afghanistan. They confiscate my passport.
That's messed up.
Take me to a brief holding room with a bunch of Filipinos, and then tell me I have a flight out at midnight, which is like 8 hours later. Now, it's clear to me at this point that the unspoken strategy is they want the accusations of anti-Semitism they hurl at people like me to eventually become true to then justify their very accusation.
Okay, again, someone is either anti-Semitic or they aren't. When someone is accused of being anti-Semitic, your job, when you hear that, is to say when, how, what's the proof, what did they do, what did you do? You question. See, when you go in, you go, oh man, that's not right. Dunning-Kruger effect has caught you. Trust me, bro. Trust me, bro. That's what it is. It's the trust me, bro. People with lower IQs fall for this all the time. All the time.
This is something that I think Israel does that contributes to more anti-Semitism than anything. Whenever you look at bad behavior and you defend bad behavior by pulling the racism card or something like that, you're going to have a lot of people who they stop taking what you're saying seriously because you're not respecting them. You don't respect their intelligence.
But the problem with Asmongold's entire little conversation there is, did they say everything that Tyler is claiming? That's the problem. That's the problem. And also you got to ask, who is running Israel? Are religious Jews running Israel? No. Well, who's running Israel? The same people that's been running it. The liberal goys and non-religious Jews.
You're just telling them this lie in order to make them believe it. It's ridiculous.
The problem is, there is no hatred in my heart, only a resolve to see things as they are. So try to answer this. Why am I, as an American, not allowed to question my fellow Americans who happen to be Jewish and how our collective tax...
All right, so see, he's setting up another Dunning-Kruger. You are allowed to question. You have freedom of speech in America. There are some limits to what you can say in Israel, unfortunately. I don't agree with it, but there is a thing called Lashon Hara, and religious Jews will say, well, yeah, words can hurt, and I understand that. But the problem is the religious Jews are not running Israel. Complete morons are running Israel. The left is running Israel. Liberals are running Israel. They're constantly giving away land. They're not even allowed to give away land. How many times in the last 100 years, well, since 1948, how many times since 1948 has Israel given away its land for peace? See, most of you don't know that. Most of you don't know because you think the Jews control the world, the Jews control the bank, the Jews control the news. If the Jews controlled the news, you would know exactly how much land has been given away. And if it's a shocker to you, then I would suggest you dig a little deeper to find out who's been running Israel.
Dollars are being spent in America.
Yes.
And why, if my videos happen to involve Jewish people, am I now labeled a Jew-hating anti-Semite while our
because you lie, because he lies. I'm not talking about his Hasidic Jewish videos. On those, he shows proof that they are doing fraud. They're breaking the Torah. Like, you can bring up more violations of Torah than you can bring up misdemeanors and felonies in American law on those videos. So that should give you an insight. No religious Jew would ever watch his Hasidic videos where they're doing all this fraud and agree with them. Okay? They would agree with him for exposing them because they're not acting like Jews. They're breaking all kinds of laws.
Greatest ally, Israel, that is the single largest recipient of American foreign aid in our history.
Okay, this is anti-Semitic and it is a lie. He is going to claim that Israel has been given $300 billion and it's all in aid. It is not. It is with a contract. Every dollar that goes to Israel comes back to America. He doesn't bring this up. Gee, I wonder why. He doesn't bring up that Israel has a contract to get money from America and deliver goods to America. We have contracts with multiple nations, and nobody ever complains about any of the contracts except for the one with Israel. I know why. It's because of anti-Semitism. Do you know why? So if your household gave $100 to your neighbor down the street, and in return your neighbor agrees to bring you a bunch of fish, and they're giving you $100 worth in fish every month, okay? And then you're also giving out $100 to a neighbor down the other way, and they are, I don't know, they're giving you $100 worth of gasoline because they make their own gasoline. I don't know. I'm just making up things. Why would you ever claim that you're giving $100 to them in aid, $100 to them in aid? You're not. You're not. It's a business transaction. It's a contract. He never mentions that.
Then
I wonder why.
Deports me while their government officials publicly paint a target on my back.
I'd be playing a different song at this point.
Okay, people painted a target on his back because he has multiple videos that are anti-Semitic, that are full of disinformation, misinformation. I'm not talking about the Hasidic Jewish ones. I'm not. Okay? And then it's been rumored that he was working with certain groups that have been working with Tucker Carlson that are very much in jihad and hate Israel. Now, I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that part's true, but I know he's been accused of it.
Still in their country. Adjusting for inflation, U.S. aid to Israel from 1951 to 2022 totaled $317 billion.
And what did they get back? They got almost $400 billion worth of military ammo, military weapons, military-grade vehicles, missiles, all kinds of stuff. If you are giving $100 to your neighbor, and the agreement is that your neighbor is going, I don't know, make you a blanket. They're going to stitch and yarn and make you one of those really big, nice blankets. And the value of the blanket is around $100. Are you giving aid to them, or are you under a business contract with them? Which is it? Why is this guy lying? This guy's lying right now in this video, and Asmongold doesn't know it. Because, like I said, I don't think Asmongold is anti-Semitic. I think that Asmongold is uninformed and kind of foolish on certain topics, and he just doesn't know. So if somebody could go to Asmongold and show him where to see the contracts, please do it.
Making it the largest recipient of American foreign aid since World War II. But
that is false. That is false, and it is a lie. Everything he just said is a lie. So now ask yourself, why did he lie? Why did he just sit here and tell the audience that America's just shoveling money away to Israel and it's aid? When you can go look it up and you can see it's a contract for military services, military parts, missiles, ammo, a ton of American weapons that we use in America are manufactured over in Israel because of that, what he calls aid. I wonder why.
In fact, we don't even have a formal mutual defense treaty with Israel. Yes, our greatest ally is not even technically our ally. 4%.
Why? Okay, so he's trying to play with an idea. It wasn't too long ago when America was proven to have been spying on Israel and lying and setting up things for Israel. There was a very famous American convert. I don't know if I think he converted. And he was accused of spying because he worked for the U.S. government, and he told Israel all of it, and he showed him proof. And they got him for treason, and they put him in prison. Israel later got that guy taken out, and now he lives in Israel. And I believe he converted. I believe he's a Jew now. So you need to ask yourself, why would your ally be spying on you and gathering all this information, and why would they be preparing to almost attack Israel or set up Israel? It all goes back to who owns Israel. See, when the elite own something, they don't want you to know that they own something. They want you to look over here at this box and not at this box. It's the same thing with the Freemasons and all that bullshit. People are like, oh, the Illuminati, Illuminati, Illuminati. Look at the Freemasons. The Freemasons have nothing to do with anything of control. The Freemasons don't even control their own cities where they have blue and black lodges in. Free and accepted Masons. I know, I used to be one. If you don't believe me, you can go join a lodge right now. If you are Jewish and watching this, or if you are a Benoic and watching this, I highly advise you not to join the Freemasons. There are problems with idol worship and other issues, but there's nothing satanic. There's none of this garbage about, oh, they control the world. No, they don't. Like, the only thing they control is how many apples to put into the giant pot when they're making apple butter and selling it. Like that's what the elites do. Like, the people that are really at the top, they want you to look somewhere and not over here and here and here. So it's garbage.
The U.S. has formal mutual defense.
It is the Dunning-Kruger effect is done really well when you hide the answer in plain sight too, because people are like, that can't be true. It's right in public. Like the higher intelligent people. The dumb people are like, oh no, that's just a statue. That's that's a thing. It's just in the public. But the higher IQ people are going to be like, it can't be true because it's in public. Hello. One of the best places to hide is in plain view.
Treaties with all 32
Japan.
NATO members, Japan, South Korea, Australia, New Zealand.
Okay, if this guy's not anti-Semitic, why is he going on a rant trying to claim that Israel does not have a formal agreement that if America were to get attacked, that Israel will jump in? Of course Israel will jump in. I want you to think about that for a minute. What are you watching right now? A guy who says he's not anti-Semitic, he doesn't hate Israel, he doesn't hate Jews, is literally saying this.
The Philippines, Thailand. And these treaties legally obligate the U.S. to come to their defense if attacked and vice versa. The obligation is a two-way street, but not with Israel. In summary, we've given Israel over $300 billion in cumulative aid.
And they give back almost $400 billion in goods and military services. And you got a problem with that. Why? Anybody should ask this question. Why? So ask the question, am I telling the truth or is he telling the truth? Is he telling the truth that we just gave all this money away and America gets nothing back? Go look it up. Go look it up.
Vote UN resolutions to shield them from international law all the time. We provide them with the most advanced weapons on Earth, and American troops die in conflicts to uphold Israeli interests.
Excuse me. American troops die all the time defending many different nations, many different countries, and Americans get mad about it. Why? It goes back to Sodom and Gomorrah. One of Sodom and Gomorrah's biggest sins is that they had power and they didn't help out anybody. America is literally policing the world. Because if America does not police the world goes to hell in a handbag. And we've seen that. We've seen that several times. And it happens fast. Asmongoat has a really good video about the Navy of England and I think it was Iran. And he shows how a lot of the allies that we have on the other side of the world have no damn Navy. They have stripped their Navy. The only people with a navy now is Russia, China, and America. Like, go look at the video and it shows you. It's a long video. He goes in depth. He's studying. See, Asmongold will dig and investigate on anything. He will dig and dig and dig. He's like a bloodhound. He gets into it. He sniffs it. He digs it. He's, I didn't know that. And then he's like, he's trying to figure out stuff with the audience live. Well, not live, but while he's recording it. But he doesn't do that with Judaism or Jews ever. I don't know why.
Without a full...
I would pause, but like honestly, I don't have anything to add. I think this is just like he's cooking. Like this is all true.
He's not cooking.
Obligation for...
Do you see how Asmongold wasn't even there and says this is all true? It takes 5 minutes for you to go look at the contract that the United States has with Israel to see that Israel gives back goods, military goods, ammo, missiles, vehicles, machines, all kinds of stuff back to America. And then go look at the estimation of what it's worth.
For Israel to defend the U.S. No treaty, no legitimate alliance, no defense commitment. So they'll take our money, they'll let our soldiers die to eliminate existential threats to Israel. But I'm the second coming of Hitler if I get on a plane to visit the country that's the largest recipient of foreign aid.
Now, would a non-anti-Semitic person have said the last sentence that he said? I want you to ask yourself that. I'm trying to get you out of the Dunning-Kruger effect. I'm trying to get you to start asking questions.
That my tax dollars go towards. I get deported and called a Jew hater by Israeli officials for what?
But you are a Jew hater, and you're not explaining why you are a Jew hater. You have told the audience it's, oh, look at my Hasidic Jewish video where I prove that they were... Nobody cares about that, bro. Nobody cares about that. I don't care about that. And I think he's got 2 of them. And they're both Hasidic Jews, go figure. And they're doing all these crimes. They're doing all this fraud. He proves that they are involved in illegal things. Both illegal from the U.S. law and illegal from Torah. I don't care about that. Call them out. But don't say that all Jews are Hasidic Jews or like the Hasidic Jews. And that's what this guy does. He wraps them all up. I've never seen him even once interview a religious Jew. If you want to call those Hasidic Jews religious Jews, I can never agree with you. I can never agree with you, okay? I know too much. To me, those men that are on that video... They shouldn't even be in a minyan. They should never be involved with a minyan. They should never be involved in any marriage. Any girls in their family that they're trying to marry out to another Jew should absolutely be disqualified. You shouldn't want that seed of evil in your family, okay? I'm just telling you. So because he goes out and he finds some Jews who are doing evil and they are corrupt, that doesn't mean that all Jews do that.
Looking for the truth? Is that illegal in Israel, the biggest democracy in the Middle East? I've refrained from exploring this topic to the degree in which it deserves because I wanted to first report on important topics, boots on the ground in Israel, before I was inevitably banned. But now, there's nothing to lose. I'm effectively perma-banned from entering. I think it's time we examine how a small country...
Okay, it's over. So I want to point out, he is banned from Israel for multiple videos. It is your job to ask what videos, what did he show and say in those videos, and it's your job to ask, is he really anti-Semitic? It takes you at least a small degree of knowing what is and is not proper in Judaism to be able to watch his videos and point out who is not a Jew. Goyim never know who is and who is not a Jew. They never do. They never do. Okay? And the word Goyim or Goy does not mean slave or cattle. It just means that they are from the nations outside of the Abrahamic line. Okay? They're outside of the tribes. They're outside. A Goy can never have a claim to be Jewish unless they convert. They convert, hey, they're 100%, as long as they convert properly, convert Orthodox and properly, and yeah, Asmongold can convert if he wanted to, and he would be a Jew. 100% a Jew. He would be 100% a Jew if he converted. But they don't know this. Most of the Goy don't even believe in conversion. Do you know that? Most of the Goy, like everything that you know about Judaism, the Goy believe that's impossible, it's not allowed. The Goyim, especially Christians, believe that Judaism is just Christianity minus Jesus. And that's insane. There's not one rule. I debated for years protecting Judaism and defending Judaism, and I debated so many people, and I asked them all the time, what is your definition of Judaism and what do you liken it to? I can't tell you the thousands of people that I've debated that said, oh, well, Judaism is like Christianity minus Jesus. No, it's not. There's not one rule in Judaism that is the same in Christianity. Even the rule, love your neighbor, is not the same. Even the rules of mercy and loving are not the same. They're not the same at all. I don't know what else to tell you. You're going to have to go to yeshiva and go study and learn. Go learn under some rabbis. There are people, Christians and Goyim, that literally spread and gossip about Jews all the time, and they tell false information. I see it all the time. Drives me nuts, but I see it all the time. This doesn't happen with any other religion. You have to know it's spiritual warfare. You have to know there's something spiritual going on. Like, you don't see it in the amounts that you see it with Judaism. You don't. Sure, you see people that hate Christians, and you see people that, that hate Muslims. But look at the information that they're spitting out. Like, when you see somebody that hates Jews and Judaism, and you look at the information they spit out, it's almost always false. It's one lie after another, after another, after another. So now you need to ask yourself, is this Tyler guy, is he anti-Semitic? That's the question. No Dunning-Kruger effect on my stuff, because I don't play that. No, trust me, bro. I don't do that. I'm telling you to go study, and I'm telling you to go get involved. I'm telling you to go learn. I don't have a problem with his Hasidic Jews video. I think he has 2 of them. I don't have a problem with those. It's the other videos I have a problem with. He has quite a lot that are very anti-Semitic. He literally said anti-Semitic stuff in this video, but Asmongold didn't know it, according to his knowledge. Well, he has no knowledge of Judaism. He doesn't know that there's no religious Jews that run Israel. He doesn't know that Chabad does not run Israel. So why did Tyler show that picture? Why did Tyler show you that $300 billion is going to Israel as aid? Ask yourself these questions. Anyways, like, share, and subscribe. I can't promise I'm going to be back. I'm kind of sick and tired of YouTube, social media, the whole kit and caboodle. But I wanted to do this to defend Judaism. But also, I wanted to do this to tell you that you have every right to ask questions. You ever notice that all these anti-Semites are like, they don't want us asking questions? Really? I can't say I've never seen it, okay? Because I have seen liberal Jews who are non-religious scream anti-Semitic at somebody who wasn't being anti-Semitic. I've seen that. I have never in my life seen a religious Jew accuse someone of being anti-Semitic without them having like 300 things that they could point to prove that person is anti-Semitic. Because religious Jews don't even talk about it. Religious Jews know that the world hates them. It's prophesized. It's not a shock and awe. The religious Jews have family that died in the Holocaust. They don't need to tell someone, hey, I think somebody hates Jews. They already know. But anyways, start to ask questions, people. Start to ask questions. Don't fall for the Dunning-Kruger effect. The trust me, bro. Like, share, and subscribe. I'm out.